Here we are at Capital Ideas Conference, the TIA Live Desk. I'm Merritt Rolfing. I'm here with Josh Asbury of Infinity Software Solutions. Josh, how you experiencing the conference so far?
Hey, Merritt, it's been great so far. I mean, it's always a lot of energy around TIA, and we're here on the early end, which is really good because people aren't tired yet. You get a Friday morning TIA, everyone is either hungover or exhausted from all the learning labs.
I think when you say hungover, you mean just a little sleepy from all the excitement they've
They
been
are
having.
drunk on information.
There it is. Perfect. Yeah. What you mentioned we're here a little bit early. What are you looking forward to the most here at the show?
Every year I've learned something from customers, and I'm looking forward to just those one-off conversations. I go to sessions, I meet people at the booth, I do all those things, but it's really those one-off conversations where I get to see what's happening with our customers on the ground. As a freight tech vendor, we're not slinging freight. And like last year, I was learning all about how the tariffs were impacting our customers. What they were going through as they were rolling from the new tariffs. And so I know there's plenty to learn this year, and I love those conversations.
Before we dive in, I'm curious. What were you hearing from your customers and just kind of the industry just around those tariffs and kind of, I think more important, how people are responding, because you have to bounce back and you have to make it work for yourself.
Yeah, I mean, as of now, it's been a very interesting time. Every year is interesting in the freight world, right? So, what I'm seeing now with customers is they're really just having conversations with their customers, with the shippers. Having the open, honest conversations that hey, diesel prices are way up. We can't lose money here. We have to pay our carriers. So that's what I'm hearing now. I'm looking forward to hearing what else is happening. But last year, things that people were dealing with were, okay, all of a sudden this load of avocados, I have to insure it for 2x the amount that I had to insure it a week ago, right? So it's things like that that are really striking to me. And so I always love hearing those stories.
Fantastic. So tell me about Infinity Software Solutions and what you guys are really bringing to the logistics and the brokerage industry today.
Yeah, so we're Infinity Software Solutions. This is our 26th year in business.
Congratulations.
It's amazing that a company can last that long. We last longer. We last longer than most marriages, So we've really kind of seen it all, yeah, up to at this point. But we have our flagship product is the Broker Pro Transportation Management System, and we have another product called Broker OS, which is a growth system for freight brokers. So everything from from websites for intake to a CRM system to data analytics, tying all that data together. So yeah, what our mantra though is we really want to try to have the back end software in place that customers can easily grow and operate their businesses.
So tell me a bit more about Broker OS. I was chatting with one of your colleagues about it. Actually, it sounds fascinating. Tell me about how I guess a user really experiences and how that really accentuates their business.
Yeah, so the Broker OS platform it's really a three-pronged approach. There's a continuum of lead intake from your website, and the part of the reason that we even started Broker OS is most freight brokerage websites are terrible, and design from design to attracting business, and what that does is that really impedes credibility for freight brokers. So TQL has a great site. They also have an army of IT people and marketers who are creating this stuff for them. Most freight brokerages don't have that. So we started with that, and as we built this out, we started realizing, okay, again, most freight brokers don't want to think about how they're getting found. There's SEO, yeah, that's great, but now the real driver for us is making sure freight brokerages can get found in agentic searches. So we just launched with a customer last week that found us because of ChatGPT, and they're a very forward-thinking freight brokerage, and they've said, okay, it's important for us to be able to get found via agents. So, and we went live with them last week. And if you look on ChatGPT and say, I'm trying to find a freight broker in Dallas, Fort Worth, as of this morning, they were number 2 recommended by ChatGPT. So that's the first part. The second part is let's get all that information into the CRM, into a CRM. A lot of freight brokers don't have CRMs. And so, we have built out a freight specific CRM system, but we can hook into HubSpot. We can hook into Sales Dash. We can hook into Salesforce. We really don't care. We just want to make sure that the data gets into a place where it's usable. And then finally, the last part is the analytics intelligence piece. So how do we have all these different data points like LinkedIn, Google Analytics, your own data warehouse, all these things. Let's pull that data into dashboards. So let's pull your data in from the TMS. So you can say, okay, here's this company's been hitting my website. My sales reps have interacted with them. This is what their average spend is. so we can pull data in from any source into this analytics platform. So again, this is stuff that freight brokers don't have really the ability to invest in just because it's hard. So what we want to try to do is we want to operationalize that for them, so they don't have to cobble together all these different systems.
I'm always curious about a product like this. What is I guess currently the ideal customer? Obviously, is someone who will buy it. But who was the ideal customer? Like when you guys kind of put this all together, what were you kind of imagining as the person looking to buy it?
Uh, Really, this fits the mold for any freight broker that does not have an extensive IT team, which is probably about 90% of the market. Yeah, and so the conversations we want to have with customers about Broker OS is, all right, tell us about your existing systems. Tell us about your growth goals. I mean, is this stuff important to you? There's going to be some it's not, and that's fine, because it's not cheap. There is an investment that's required, but if they're willing to put that investment in, we can guarantee the results.
So you mentioned when we were lining this conversation up, you want to talk a bit about Broker Pro TMS and kind of how you guys are leveraging agentic tools and AI in particular. I want to kind of start high level though. AI has been, I hesitate to say buzzword, but that's the way things go these days. But it's the leading term, I guess, in the world, but also within brokerage in general, right? What everyone here in the trade show floor is going to be talking about next couple of days. How do you see it impacting, I guess, just the brokerage industry now and in the future?
Yeah. So taking a step back, I was with HubTran back in the day, and we were acquired by Triumph, and we were one of the first AI systems out there, and so I kind of have a unique perspective when it comes to how AI is utilized in freight. No one was doing what we were doing or doing it nearly as well. I mean, ePay was doing some really cool stuff at that time, but sorry guys, we were beating you. But all that said, what we focused on was doing very specific things. We weren't trying to AI everything. What we did was we handled invoices and PODs received from carriers, and we integrated with the TMSs. We made that work. What I'm seeing now is in the AI arms race is that everybody's trying to do everything all at once because they can, and
they think they can,
or they think they can. And what concerns me about that is not that AI isn't great. It's fantastic. I'm looking at this as an adoption issue. Like if you're, I'm, and this speaks to the Broker Pro AI that we just announced last week, is if I'm a freight broker, I don't want to do everything all at once. I want to lock in and get real value out of something. That could be carrier onboarding. That could be collections. That could be track and trace, visibility. I want to lock in and make sure we're really good at one or two things, and then adopt something else. Then keep going, then keep iterating and improving. Because what's going to happen is if you try to do this mega project where you're just, I'm gonna throw AI at everything, you're going to fail. It's going to be a really expensive failure. So so with what we are doing with Broker Pro AI is it's bolted into the TMS, and we looked at the ways that our customers could really benefit from it. We looked at the things that we know every single customer is going to want to do, and that they won't have a change management problem. It's like, all right, let's do carrier onboarding, and let's hook in. Let's have agents do carrier onboarding for you. Let's have agents trace down receivables for you. That's a waste of time. It's something that you shouldn't be paying somebody $50K a year for when you can pay an agent 25 cents a minute to make those phone calls for you. Let's do track and trace. Let's do visibility. Let's lock in on that. And then we're going to keep iterating as we get more and more customers on board. We're going to fire up more agents. Let's do quotes. Let's do emails. Let's do all this type of stuff. And so it becomes more of an iterative approach to a product launch. So we're starting off really strong. Thrilled by this, but that's our philosophy, is we don't want to just say, boom, AI. We're going to iterate with our customers and learn and grow through it.
How do those conversations go, I suppose? Because obviously the broker is like, I need things to go, right? I want this to all be the best it can be. Is it really that consultative kind of conversation you have especially with the new AI tools, is kind of walking them through the process?
Exactly. And I think that, again, I think I have a conservative approach to any sort of software adoption. When I was at a company called LifeRay, we called it the Franken portal. We sold portal software. Like, people wanted to do everything with it. Like, let's just start with an intranet or a partner portal. Let's reduce scope, really lock in, and get this done. So it's been an interesting challenge. Challenge isn't the right word. It's just been interesting because the way we work with our customers, it is a consultative approach where we want to help them adopt the software. I don't want to throw everything at a customer and have them fail, right? I want them to be successful. They will be successful, but it's like, but let's walk before we run. And so I think it's, because we care about adoption so much, we care about the long term. I love the quick wins, and I love, getting that big check from a customer.
Sure.
I want to get a big check from a customer 5 years from now. So it's like, let's iterate through this and let's make sure they're successful.
So let's talk about a bit about the, obviously Broker Pro TMS, bolting AI into that. You're partnering up with CloneOps AI. I mean, just talk me through I'm curious about that partnership, and then just kind of where you are with the product now, and I suppose, without revealing too much of a roadmap, I suppose, but just kind of where you're headed.
Yeah. So we partnered with the team at CloneOps. Really, the conversation started at TIA last year, and some of our customers might think we were late to it. And I think we're right on time, just because, again, it's been an arms race, and you can say, well, why didn't you just develop it yourself? Well, why do that when you have companies like CloneOps and Vuma and Happy Robot and DrumKit doing all this amazing work? Let them do that, and then we can integrate and use the pieces that really make our product better and have a better impact for our customers. So we started working with CloneOps. They're a great team and phenomenal guys to work with. We have a great relationship with them, and so we're kind of learning and growing and iterating together. Just last week, when we were doing some of the final reviews before we made the announcement, the guys from CloneOps told us, like, man, that looks amazing, because things that we're doing with inside the TMS is, all right, you have an agent that makes a phone call to a broker. Well, it's being recorded. So cool. We're going to take that recording. We can put that into the document management system or your storage system or whatever. But what we're doing is we're also taking the transcript and we're attaching that to the load. So now you have a searchable history of every single phone call that's happening inside your system. You don't have that with humans. You don't have that, right? So so you think, then if you look at the broader picture, well, gosh, how about that gets put into the CRM? That can get put into the data analytics platform, and then you have all these different systems that one piece of data can really inform a lot of different conversations.
Sure.
So that's kind of where we're iterating. It's just about, like, let's make sure that we get this right and the data is right and it's valuable, right? And then we can do something with it.
So you've talked a bit about kind of who the customer is that you're ideal. Yeah, it's someone who wants to be better. But with this, latest product, who is, I guess, a target customer now versus 5 years from now?
With Broker Pro TMS, our target customer is really, truly anybody who needs a TMS. I mean, it really comes down to that. Now, there's 79, 89, however many different flavors of TMS out there, and so that, and I think that if somebody's using the cloud and they're happy, by all means, keep using the cloud and be happy. But there's a lot of I think there's a lot of opportunity for people who might not be working with a TMS that really has an AI strategy or AI cooked directly in, that can look at this and go, let's explore this. Like, what can how can this software make us more efficient? Not just track loads, not just build loads, but like, how can we actually really make ourselves more efficient and streamline our operations? And I think it's more of a, when you sign up and begin working with a TMS, you got to make sure that there's a cultural alignment with how you work. So are you, do you want to iterate with that company together? Do you want to have a relationship with that company? Will you be able to grow with that company? And so, some TMS is great. Some might not have the same type of philosophy or roadmap that you do. Vet the vendors. It's really up to the brokers to do that. But, again, with the Broker Pro TMS, that's one set of it. The Broker OS piece, frankly, I look forward to the days that we integrate with McLeod and Ty and everybody with all that, because I really don't care what TMS somebody's using. I want them on Broker Pro. Share, absolutely. Give me your money. But I also don't care. Right? I want to make sure that data flows from all the different systems so that customers can really, I think that philosophy is, like, I want them to have the best systems in place. And the TMS is one of those systems.
That's such a rare thing to find, obviously, with any software vendor, but that's really impressive stuff. As we wrap it up here, anything else you wanted to share just about the product in general, or what you guys are working on next?
Well, I will say that the working on next part is really about more integration. So we have another AI integration we launched. We haven't announced it yet, just because we want to get, honestly, I want the customers to give us the thumbs up that we got it right. But yeah, we've got another AI integration coming out. Yeah, so we have the Broker Pro AI, which is our stuff, but we're also integrating with another application, and that's going to be the next big launch, the big announcement, and big push.
I'm looking forward to that. Well, Josh, I really appreciate the time. Josh Asbury, pardon me, of Infinity Software Solutions here at Capital Ideas 2026.
All right, thank you very much, Merritt.